Alrighty, got that posted. Hopefully it went live. Maybe it didn't. Are we Instagram? Okay, good. Oh hell! Wait a minute. It didn't. It totally. What the heck? Okay, delete. I did a story and all it did was. Okay, that's weird. Alright, let's stop. Let's go over here. Let's try it again. Let's try a video. Okay, let's try the live sticker again. Oops. This music is already annoying. https://YouTube's nope. youtube.com/@artofbecute. There we go. Drawing live now. Drawing live. Okay, oh, I hate that music. I gotta redo it. We gotta make different music here. Okay, I like that. That's better. Whew. Alright, it's like cafe coffee music. Let's do it. Let's see if Instagram will post this one. Let me just go ahead and switch live because this is weird. Alright, did it work? It seems like it worked. Oh no, it is not yet live. Okay. Okay, there we go, finally. Alright, now I can close that. Okay, alright, we're good now. Here we go. I think I already have a comic named Snuggle Emergency. I gotta probably change that title, but let me get this idea scratched out because I want to. Maybe if I do it, because I originally had it from perspective of Tuxie. Maybe I can change it to the perspective of the floofs, because the idea is that it gets really cold and Tuxie sends out an SOS to the Snuggle emergency crew, and the floofs gather around and snuggle for extra warmth. So... okay, I think I know how I'll do it. Maybe I'll call it Snuggle Guard. Yeah. Or maybe Happy is covered. And all you can see is just Tuxie's face. Oh no, I made this an entire group, didn't I? Alright, well. Okay, well, okay. I have him sitting like the official snuggle guard post instead. Maybe I'll give them a little star. And they all have little stars. They're part of the snuggle guard. Maybe they'll feel the shivers or sense the shivers. Alright, there we go. Go ahead and group this. I've already got this one grouped and this one grouped. So let's drop this down. All right, and let's save as, let's switch the name of this because file, save as. I know I already have a snuggle emergency. We're gonna call it Snuggle Guard. All right, so now let's do a title. There we go, got all of those done. And need to save. There we go, excelente, excelente. to... Get the Snuggle Guard sign up. I need to make this point size much, much smaller. It's already pretty small. Now Guard has an official post where they watch. Point size bigger now. Got his paws underneath his scarf, maybe? welcome to the stream. Hey, Clint. Oh, I'm surprised there aren't more people on your streams. I hope so too. I'd love to. I love answering questions and sharing the process with you guys. Let me let me switch over to live chat. I wish that I need to figure out if there is a way I can switch the default from top chat to live chat, because all of a sudden chat just appeared, and I know you guys have been sitting there for a little bit, so it always seems that way. I look up, there's no chat, and then suddenly there's a ton, so I gotta... Maybe this guy has just a little... I would say he's got the paws tucked under the scarf. I think that would be appropriate, and I can just put like a little... I can just put a little kind of... This will be a shadow. Put his paws underneath. And let me just alter this a smidge of a bit. Yeah, I don't know if I should have altered that. Let me just leave it here for now. Oops. Well, that's going to be tricky because I've got... There we go. This is going to be... Snuggle cards. Not pacing about, I think. Maybe. Or notification. Little, maybe just a couple little sprouts of grass or something here. And I need to do a little star. Let's just do a little star. I was actually thinking of ways to grow more online. Would you say posting consistently often? Yes, absolutely, I would. So I would say also, in addition to that, let's say, for example, you want to grow on TikTok, but you want to grow in a specific area. Let's say you want to grow a book recommendation blog. So immediately what I would do is try to get active, or first figure out what those communities are. So like for the book example, it's Book Talk. That's pretty easy. And then I would start consistently, you know, and this is actually something that I follow a couple of different creators. One of them is Vanessa Lau, and she's really, she's very, very interesting, and she puts up a lot of, I wouldn't call it, yeah, it is small business content, but she did a lot of social media, educational type content, and then she kind of burned out, went on sabbatical and came back, and now she's trying to kind of figure things out, but she's still posting some of those tidbits. And she posted one the other day that was the value of consistency over, you know, perfection. I mean, maybe perfection isn't the right word, but it's, you know, like doing this huge, elaborate, produced video that takes a bunch of effort, but you only do it like once a month or infrequently, versus small, consistent efforts every day. And the example that she showed was how this clip of these I guess they would be called jeggings, but they weren't jeggings. It was like a sweatpants jean thing that she was wearing. Went semi-viral, or actually more viral. And she was remarking on how that was something she didn't even think about. It took her like 5 minutes to do, including the editing. And she only posted it because she had no ideas of anything else to do, but she wanted to keep the chain going. She wanted to stay consistent. And I found that to be true too, because like some of the things I've done that required far less effort than say a comic post or a daily painting that's, you know, huge line art, blah blah blah, have gone far better in terms of reach and actually being seen than other things that, you know, have taken a ton of time. You put a lot of sweat equity into it, and it just, you know, I think that consistency, you know, especially if you take, you know, away from growing online, but growing a skill or anything like that, it's consistency that matters. And, you know, I've been doing these daily sketches for, at the end of September, because I started in October of 2015, I will have been doing daily paintings for 10 years. And every single day. And, you know, there's some days where I did a ton, and there are other days where I took very much advantage of my basement rule, my bottom rule, which was you have to at least sit down for 15 minutes and sketch something. It has to be something. And so those are the ones that are just like a picture of a floof or whatever. And, you know, there are certain days where, you know, things happen that I was really upset or whatever, and, you know, I just didn't feel like drawing. So that 15-minute kind of baseline really helped and allowed me to not break the chain and not, you know, get down on myself for failing. But, you know, you kind of have to have that balance, and especially with growing online, and because this hamster wheel can get very frustrating, especially when you see, you know, everybody just, it seems just with rocket fuel going through the roof around you. And I think as long as you are keeping that balance to keep yourself sane, and but staying consistent on your own terms. You know, if consistency is every day, great, but if consistency is every week, but make sure you hit that, and then you can always work yourself up. Because that's how I started too with my comic posts. Consistency for me initially was one a week, and I could barely get that done. And then finally I got to a point where I was comfortable with one a week, and I was like, hey, you know, I could probably go for 2 a week. And then, you know, that's how I built up to that. You know, it's starting off with, you know, grand designs to do 3 posts a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, that I failed miserably, and I didn't even, you know, get even remotely close to it. So, but yeah, I think it does help. Consistency does help, and it keeps you showing up, I guess. I mean, and then you have the whole question about, you know, how AI and bots are being integrated. And I mean, I think also with the consistency in posting, it would be consistency in being active in the community. So not only liking and commenting or responding to comments on your post, but likewise going out and seeing who else is posting in those areas. Let's go back to the book talk example, and being active on those posts of other people, because when, you know, people see and get interaction from others, you know, it's reciprocal. And I saw this a lot too when I was initially on Twitch. Not only, actually, I didn't start streaming until I had been active in the community quite a bit, and I had, you know, made some friends with other streamers. I was, you know, mods on some channels, and, you know, I loved the community so much that I wanted to join it. I wanted to start streaming myself. Well, when I did that, you know, my friends would come over, they would support my stream, but I would also go back to their streams and support them as they were streaming. So it's creating those relationships and networking that really can help boost and grow your account wherever you're focused on. But yeah, I guess that's a long way of saying yes, consistency works. It's really kind of the best thing that you can do, but keep realistic goals in mind, and don't set yourself up, to have the minimum be up here, and you're, just don't set yourself up for failure. Hey Dee, welcome to the stream. I hope that things are going well for you too. Oh, you're so welcome, Catherine. Yeah, no, it really is. It just, and I've always thought of it, and to make friends, you got to be a friend. You've got to, you can't just show up and say, I'm here, come, and follow me. You've got to give. You've got to be, what is this? I don't know. I think it all kind of, you can sum it up with karma. If you send good things out, if you treat people well, if you respond and participate, that will come back to you. So I think that's where I grow, that's where I come from in thinking about how do I, grow. And it's not the fastest way, definitely, but I mean, I think in the end, it's the way that will result in the most genuine connections and things like that. Because I mean, what does it mean if you have, hundreds of thousands of people on your account, but when you post, you only get, one or two comments and, barely any likes? You've got all these people, but obviously they're not engaging. They don't really care because they're not, for whatever reason, engaging in your post. Some of that can be, you can point your finger at the algorithm, but, sometimes it's, building genuine connections over just, I don't know, casual connections, passing connections. I'm not sure what would be the best descriptor for that. Thank you for the shout out. Been an unexpected season of burnout. Oh goodness. Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's something that's on my resolution list. It's so easy to doom scroll, especially with like everything that's going on. It's so detrimental to your mental health and your creativity, and that's something that I really want to myself keep track of and change my focus. And I see a lot of apps that they're trying to kind of hit that niche of people that are, find themselves doom scrolling, and they're like, okay, I don't remember what app it is, but it's one that is micro learning or something, and like history books based. You can read books in like 15 minutes, or they'll give you a cliff note summary or something like that. But I was seeing that, so I was like, when I catch myself doing that, the first hurdle is catching yourself doing it, and then once you catch yourself doing it, you got to redirect. And so that's why I want to redirect. And if I catch myself doing that, I've got books to read and things to learn, and but that's that first point. You got to catch yourself. Yeah, and that's another thing, because and seeing recent revelations where some social media networks are a lot of bots, and I suspected that a long time, quite a while ago, for Facebook. I mean, because you'd see the prevalence of accounts that are like, oh, you can buy followers, you can get 10,000 followers, and I'm just like, okay, well, I'm buying a number, but am I buying like actual eyeballs on my comics? Am I buying, what are you actually getting? And it turns out to be nothing, because when they do, over the years, they did various clearances of these fake accounts, or not fake. Well, I guess it would be fake, but just maybe empty accounts that, and you'd see people's follower counts just plummet, and then they'd have to build back up. And you're looking at this and saying, okay, what is this really? And I remember for a time on Facebook too, I guess it's a good example, but I would see, I'd look at these accounts, and your first inclination is to be like, oh my God, look at how many people they have. And, you get down on yourself because you don't have that number. But then you look at the, account and the actual engagement, and there's nothing. And you're like, why is that? Is there, is the stuff they're posting just not engaging, or is, what's going on here? And so, yeah, it's just, you got to remember that the numbers can be very misleading. And especially, if you're comparing things to like in 2012 on Facebook, when that kind of organic engagement ended, I would get, and that, oh God, that made me so angry. I had a temper tantrum one day because I was trying to figure out what was going on, because up until that point I would have, tens of thousands of likes and lots of comments, lots of engagement on the comics that I would post. That was like in 2012. And then all of a sudden it just like it hit a wall, and what was going on? And, history would come to show that that was around the time when Facebook integrated or rather started the pay to play, the advertising and limiting organic reach. And, over the years, it's just gone, been more and more kind of a controlled flow that you can open up if you pay for the, the boosting and stuff. But it's just, you just have to kind of remember that and not get down on yourself. And, it's difficult, but I still think, even given how, you can lament and say, oh, reach is not what it used to be. Organic is, it's just dead. But compare that to what it was, because the old method of advertising and getting your work known was you had to pay, magazines, PR companies to do what were they called? They were like the official PR news announcements that all of the newspapers, magazines, whatever would pick up. You had to pay to do that. So, I mean, I think it's the same game. It's just the money has moved, and where you put the money has moved. So now, I mean, there was a moment where, you could get a lot for free, but that moment's gone until something new comes along. And right now, the last vestiges of that moment are on TikTok, and whatever new thing is coming along. But I still think it's better than it was, because really anybody, can. And that's changed too. I'm actually reading, I don't have it in here, I have it in the other room, but I'm reading the Day Trading Attention by Gary Vee. It's a follow-up to Jab Jab Right Hook. I think that was 2013 or 2012. And very easily digestible contemporary information on, navigating the social media landscape and how to, get attention and be present on these platforms, because each one is different. I mean, you don't post the same thing on TikTok that you do on Instagram, and the same way. One of the analogies he uses is like these big, huge corporations will invest a lot of money in these fully produced, polished ads, and they'll run the same ad on TV that they run on Instagram, on Facebook, and TikTok. And when people see that, they, at least I personally do, and a lot of people I know do, instantly swipe by that because it's an ad. And the companies that are more in the know are on TikTok, for example. They're doing those influencer collaborations where it looks like a get ready with me, and you have to get to the end of it or look down at the bottom where it says, you know, this account is sponsored, officially sponsored, or the hashtag ad, to really understand, see that's ad, and you're just like, ugh, it's kind of a game now, but that's the kind of content that they're getting results from. But if you're just someone that's trying to grow a small business, or, you know, get your comics or your art or, you know, your stories or your books out to the you know, general masses, it's a little bit difficult, but it's really kind of the same game. It's just the playing board is a little different. You know, you still have to, you know, invest in, at least on a, you know, a business scale, you gotta in some ways pay to play for the marketing and the exposure, but there is that chance, because it's more of a interest-based algorithm now, that you can go and get, you know, some attention for free. But yeah, definitely consistency. And you know, that's something I've noticed on my TikTok. I've started reposting there, and I'm experimenting a lot. I'm experimenting with the time of day, hashtags. I'm experimenting with types of posts. You know, my video posts, which you'd think on TikTok would be prime, perform less than the carousel posts, which is really interesting to me. It kind of seems like Instagram and TikTok are in a dance. They're like, you know, because for a time Instagram wanted to be TikTok, and so they demoted picture posts and carousel posts and promoted the reels. Well, now you know, they've rolled that back, and they're like, okay, we're gonna have these content pillars, and we're gonna treat all of them fairly. And you know, so you've got your carousels, you've got your picture posts, you've got your reels, and you know, they've said that they're treating them more fairly in terms of the algorithm. But you know, I still go on to my explore page and see nothing but reels. So I mean, but interestingly enough, these carousel posts on TikTok, if I look at my analytics, they're all coming from the For You page, and it's just really interesting to look at those numbers. And that would be another thing, if you really want to grow an account or something, pay attention to those numbers. That's a big takeaway, because you can figure out from that what people are responding to, and then post more of that. I mean, it won't be, I mean, if you find out that something that was, you know, not your favorite post is what does well, then you have to kind of come to that decision. Okay, well, how do I marry this piece of, you know, content that, you know, really performed up here, but my heart was down here? How do you marry that into something that you enjoy doing, but also can, you know, potentially reach more if you're focused on that growth? Oops. My big goal on TikTok is getting over 1,000. I mean, I could. I've heard that I could apply for live access early. You know, you don't have to have 1,000 if you can show social proof, I guess, for other accounts where you have a lot. But that's my goal right now with that, is to grow that to a point where I can go live and maybe do some streaming on that platform, and connect via OBS. I've already thought, like, maybe I would, you know, have a split screen. I'd have art up here, and then maybe, you know, me drawing down here. I don't know. I'd split it somewhere, because I know it's the vertical format, but I would recommend that book if you want to grow a following. It's definitely one of the, And you don't really have to, buy all of it. And that's something too. Like if you're looking at social media growth books, you've got to pay attention to the publication date. In most cases, they're old information. That information expires very quickly. Because just think of how often and how quickly the landscape changes, how they change the algorithm, how they, introduce new features. All right, so now we got to get our floof trotting down. Oh, let me save and let me scooch back here so you can see the full comment. So what I've got is Cozy Town Snuggle Guard. Floof is standing guard and senses an emergency. So he's trotting back and he's gathering the troops, and we find that Tuxie is he's cold, and so we've got the Snuggle Guard assembling to form a emergency snuggle puddle, which I feel is what these guys do. Although Coconuts, she's very happy on her heating pad right now. When she's not on the heating pad, she's like crawling inside of Tuxie's skin. If she's a snuggler and he's less of a snuggler, but he'll accept snuggles. He'll deal with it. I feel like he just deals with it. He's just like, ugh. But when he's had enough, which is kind of funny. Let's get this fruit. Boop. Let's have the whiskers blowing back. I think I drew a little bit too much belly. Make sure. Whoop. And a whoop. I want to make the top of the scarf a little more drapey. Let's just come down here. Whoop. Oh, all right. I'll roll with it. Maybe. Nope. I guess another bit of advice I'll give, and this is something that I'm literally going through myself right now. The pressure of perfection and, oh, what if I make a crappy post, that whole thing. You gotta kind of just put that little voice on mute and try. So like, think of a baby learning to walk. They don't get discouraged when they, try to get up and they fall on their tush. They get right back up and try again and try again and try again until their legs are strong enough and they can actually toddle around and start to walk. And that's kind of the process that I'm discovering with that I've got to remember, at least with social media. You know, you got to learn to walk. You got to get up and you got to toddle around a little bit until you figure out, until you get, personally, I had kind of, or still do have, even though it makes no sense because I stream, but I would have a hang up about, speaking on reels and like putting myself on the reel. Makes no sense because hello, I'm streaming. I stream for, one time I would stream like 4 hours or 3 hours and I'm on the screen. Why do you have this hang up about making reels with your, speaking? And you kind of have to combat that with volume and consistency again, just because the more you make, the less difficult it will seem, the more experience you have, the more comfort you will have with it. And it's kind of, you see that when you're practicing to build a skill, again going back to drawing, I remember some illustrations I did that were just like pulling teeth. I was so frustrated, but I learned stuff. So like when the next time I tried to do a similar illustration or, do a texture or a lighting effect with the, that kind of approach those same problems, I had the learning that I had, gotten from the previous one where I was so frustrated and like, okay, this isn't that bad of a problem. This is how I did it last time. Let's try that and let's, kind of proceed forward. And, that does help. You just kind of have to, so much of it is all up in between your ears. And it's frustrating because I'm like, I wish I could just turn it off and do it. All right, so we're going to trot through the... All right, we're going to do a little... Whoops. I'm going to do little speed lines because he's trotting fast. And we're going to bring this down so I could actually write trot, trot, trot. I need to come back out here and grab my little star. Copy. Here, Control V. You know what? I'm just going to keep it on that little side. I'm going to use to mark without tying that. Make it easier to remember placement. Work smarter, not harder. Give yourself a break. If I've got to turn this floof around, I need to know where he's going to be and what these important landmarks are. Alright, this one's done. Let's go over here and rally the troops. Oh, I need to get my little star here. I'm going to put that there. And I'm also going to give myself a reserve of stars over here because I've got a bunch of floofs that are going to be in the snuggle guards, so I need to show that they all have stars. Make sure I've got the, I kind of want the turn, his body to be like this, like he's saying, okay everybody, it's time to go. And you need to be pointing. There we go. That's a lot of booty. Let's shorten this booty up a little bit, and let's reposition this guy. Maybe I actually need to make him bigger. Let's just, bloop, there we go. Because he's like leading his way up the thingy, and we've got the other snuggle guard right back here. And now let's group. I watched a new, actually there are a couple of new cooking shows that, well, it's not new. There's like a new, like, offshoot of Chopped that they're doing now. It's called, oh shoot. I don't know what the subtitle is, but it's Chopped, where they bet on the final ingredients. So they've got the 4 ingredients, they get to know 3 of them, and then the contestants, the chefs have to bet. They have a $10,000 budget, and if they win, I guess it's like a mini event. It's like, it's under the Chopped umbrella, but I guess it's like Tournament of Champions, something like that. I thought it was really interesting though. That's a curious bit of gameplay because, you know, the rule is you get to keep, if you win as the Chopped champion, you get to keep your leftover kind of cash. But if you don't spend cash on the best ingredients, then you kind of could set yourself up for a loss. So I thought that was an interesting new wrinkle they've added. I thought that was pretty fun. And then there's a new one called Oh no, Wild Card. I want to say Wild Card Cafe, but I think it's Wild Card Kitchen, where they like bet on and do, like, they have these cards that are, I guess, anything from ingredients to utensils and cutlery or whatever that they can or can't use, or kind of just like Agents of Chaos cards. I think that one looks interesting too. I like to watch those at dinner. And I'm surprised at how much I learn. You know, I'm always looking up because they'll have fancy names for stuff, and I'll have to look up what that even means and what's the difference between sour cream and creme fraiche. Now I'm upset when they grab sour cream, but they say they're grabbing creme fraiche because it's not the same thing. You call it creme fraiche when it's not creme fraiche. Now it reminded me of another piece of learning I want to do, a book I've had forever that I need to read, which I think is going to be incredibly informative and helpful. If I can grab it here and not destroy things and drop books on Coconut's head. But this is one I've had for a while that I have not broken into yet, and I need to. So I think I'm actually going to use it. I'm going to move it to my active reading table. But what originally attracted me to this book was the illustrations inside. I was like, ooh, that looks cool. It's fun, and it's really laid out beautifully with all of these, you know, hand-drawn illustrations and but yeah, like the intro quote is, anyone who likes to eat can soon learn to cook well. And that's what I would like to do. And so it goes through, and the 4 elements of good cooking, and then recipes, recommendations are on the back. But I'm really excited to learn because, I don't know, I think cooking is it's an activity where you have, it's kind of like gaming, like when you're you know, playing a game or, you know, whatever. It's a very tight window of effort and result and reward. actually, because like when you're cooking, you put in the effort to cook, it's a shorter time frame because you're not, you've got what takes 30 minutes to put something together. You immediately get your result and you get your reward. You get to eat it. If it's good, then you're like, awesome. If it's bad, then you're like, well, crap. But I think it's something that, is a nice break and it's fun. And it's another thing that, with the failures, you learn more. So I need to figure out I need to actually, so this paw is going to be in front, so his belly is over here, so this paw is behind the curve of the belly, this paw is in front of the curve of the belly. So whoops. All right, let's try this again. Let's get our basic floof structure mapped out. So now I can dress my floof. There we go. Let's move his little. So how will a scarf hang on this floof? So I'll be over here and then I'll come up over here. And let's do this and this and this. And remember that his star is over here, right on the line of this scarf. And then this one, dump it down, whoops, drop that over, there we go. Just finish this real quick. Oops, let's get that over here. And let's redraw this flag because it's a little bit not good. Now, how about this floof is always so... Yes! Alright, each of these guys has a little star because they're all members of the Snuggle Squad. a little bigger. And let's make this a little bit more. Nope, 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 nope. There we go. All right. Now this can come, oops, wrong layer. Layers, view over here, and now I'm going to drop this down. So I'm going to end the stream here a little bit. Well, I've gone over an hour, so I want to get back to about 2 hours. So maybe that'll be my goal for next week. But what I have left is drawing Tuxie shivering, and then I have an extreme close-up on his face, and he's like surprised, and then I have sound effects of poof, 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 and then I zoom back and show the snuggle puddle and the guard assembled around him. And I'm thinking I may do like toasty warm squiggles, maybe something like that. But definitely I'll have Tuxie happy and purring in there. And then I'll have the guard arranged. I think I actually might do this one. I was like, oops. I want to have one just like their feet. Just like they're, like maybe a head's here. And then this one's snuggled up like this. And this one's snuggled up like this. They're piling on. But that'll be it for me today. I shall return on Tuesday. I'm going to be working on some new special projects, and that will be included in that are digital downloads, and because that is on the forefront of my list along with animation, and I'm really challenging myself to get little animations and Jiffy GIF updates done, not every day, but at a much faster pace than I have been before, which is like nothing. So I think the last Jiffy GIF I did was over a year ago, but I want to use that as a way to practice and ease myself into bigger animation projects. So we will be seeing some of that for sure. But let me go ahead and switch over to my ending screen. There we go. Thank you, Dee, Catherine, and Clint so much for joining me today. Also, all of my lurkers. I hope you enjoyed the stream today, and if you want to see more comics, I do comic streams on Thursdays. And wait, what? What is the name of this particular track? I always hear it and love listening to it. Oh, hold on a second. Let me roll back. History. Hold on. Where's history? Ah, Q. Recently played. Eggs and Bacon by Harris Heller, Stream Beats. And the one before that was Lily's Eyes. Let me link you to both of these. No, I just want to share. Thank you. Copy song link. So this is Eggs and Bacon. I don't know if that one is. And then let me link you to the one before that, just in case. And Lily's Eyes. All of my music that I play on stream is from Harris Heller. He produces, I think, exclusively free music that you can use for streaming. And I went through a couple of his albums on Spotify and composed, because a lot of his stuff can get really, it's just a little bit too dubstep for me. So I composed a list that has like the more chill beats, because some of them just get a little bit distracting. But yeah. Okay, good. So glad I linked the right one. Like Eggs and Bacon, I'm not sure if that sounds like a good relaxing one, but it is what it is. All right. I'll go back to my ending stream. And there we go. Thank you again so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your Thursday, a wonderful weekend. And if you are tuning in from California, where we're having tremendously devastating fires, I hope you're staying safe, and all of your friends, family, and pets are as well. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time.